Ether is that mysterious fifth element or quintessence that is the material that fills the region of the universe beyond the terrestrial sphere, according to ancient and medieval science. In the 19th century, it was believed that this medium was the transmission zone for electromagnetic waves. Now, boy, wouldn't that just answer a few things if that were true? And at the heart of ether, we find her, the all-permeating magnetic field that unifies many ideas across both science and religion around the world. And so understanding Hera will give us a nice round understanding of why Hera is the true hero of our story today. What does her name tell us? Where do we find her? And what actions did she take will be the fulcrum of this video. Click that like, share, and subscribe button, and let me know your thoughts on Hera's origin in the comments down below before you go. Welcome to Mythology 102. Hera, sister queen of Zeus. It seems rather obvious to begin by extracting the her from Hera and declaring, hey, we're looking at a feminine force. But the truth is that Hera is a female goddess and her is a feminine pronoun. In fact, if you stick an S in front of Hera's name, you'll kind of get an idea why they chose Shira to be the princess of power. It triggers both the feminine her in your subconscious and Hera as a deity from our collective consciousness. Shira. What we are going to examine more directly is the idea that a feminine designation indicates a magnetic field. In the case of Hera, a magnetic field that always forms around the Z-pinch, or more specifically, we're looking at an access point to the ether of ancient science and religion. Where the male designation of Zeus represents the electric force, the female designation of Hera represents the corresponding magnetic field, which will always occur at a 90-degree angle to the electric charge. You see this in the Z and her, or more commonly, he and her designations. Like the us ending of Zeus indicating a singular Z, the A at the end of Hera does the same thing as well, but not in the way that you might think. Consider the following. There is ether, which is a medium, and then there is Hera, which is a magnetic field expressing across that medium, and in this case, around the 0 point. Ether, Hera, Aethera. Aethera, which is Latin, is the accusative single of ether. Singular is in a singular magnetic field induced from the ether around a 0 point. From the vacuum of the 0 point, a magnetic field is born, a single magnetic field, a her, and it is a her-a, and it is an expression of the Athera. Where do we find Hera in mythology? Watch the symmetry this electrical orientation creates in the designations, or rather, where we find her. Brother, sister. They are brother and sister because they are born of the same parents, or of the same event. In mythology, Zeus was born first of 6 children, and Hera was born last. And because they are brother and sister, they represent the bookends of the family tree, meaning the remaining 4 siblings should be orientable between the 2 forces. Hera is also married to Zeus, so add husband and wife, meaning that the ether of the magnetic field will always be there if a Z-pinch, or a Zeus that is, appears. Hera is married to Zeus. You can't separate them. Not happening. Hera has no choice but to be a faithful wife to Zeus because without Zeus, Hera doesn't really exist. And so every time Zeus shows up, Hera shows up. And Hera, as we'll see in a moment, has a very specific behavior. Finally, because they are married, Zeus is king and Hera is queen, or more specifically, queen of heaven, because her influence does not originate in the sky like Zeus. It originates in the ether of the heavens. King of the sky, queen of the ether. What actions or abilities does Hera have? In mythology, Hera is known as a jealous and vindictive wife, and especially over Zeus's affairs with other women. Jealous and vindictive are negative or repelling emotions against another woman, which means that more specifically what we're talking about are two magnetic interactions and a repelling force between them, with the common factor being the Zeus point, or the 0 point, created in the interaction of the fields. This is the source of Zeus's affairs. Mythology.com says Hera was very beautiful and that she is often accompanied by a peacock. Here is your magnetic field. Mythology.com goes on to say, quote, even though she was beautiful, not many men and not one god dare lay hands on her. Endymion tried once, but Zeus condemned him to eternal sleep. Since Endymion is male, we can define him as electric, and more specifically the electric current as it enters the 0 point at the center of the torus at the Z-pinch. The actual current must not touch the Hera, but rather must rest there, nearly touching at the end in a dominion in an eternal sleep. This end, and yes, it is that simple, is why the character is called Endymion. Despite being very beautiful, Hera is often described as cow-faced. This symbology can be seen in this image from Mythology 101, Zeus defining the Sky Father, where the eyes and ears of the bull represent the rotating magnetic pinch of Hera during the cataclysm. Except Hera is a feminine character, and so rather than saying that Hera is bull-faced, they use the proper gender characterization and say that she is cow-faced. Why is Hera our hero? Because the magnetic field is what provided us the protection from impact. Hera is the protector of women and presides over marriage and childbirth, because the womb, created by a magnetosphere, is like the womb of a woman. It allows life. The Roman counterpart to Hera is Juno, from which we get June, or the month when the tilt of our planet is furthest away from the cataclysm and is instead tilting the most towards new life after the cataclysm, at the summer solstice. There will be much more coming on the feminine force of the cataclysm, but for now, don't forget to leave me your thoughts in the comments down below. Click like, share, and subscribe. Peace.